mentally ill, and drug addicted. That signed up for a course that I was teaching. Now, the first time I encountered, I refer to her as an entity because that is my truth in my understanding of who and what that energy represents. An entity. Demonic entity. I realized in that moment that something's off. Yeah, something is off. The presence, her presence, something was off. But because I was in the setting that I was in, and I had to maintain my professionalism, understand I'm employed, and I signed up to teach the class, I did some positive self-talk. And I said, you know what? Yes, she looks off, but we're going to be all right. We're going to let today be the opportunity for us to get a better understanding of what that energy is. In specifics, I told myself, I don't know her diagnosis, but in time I will learn and discover and know how to relate with her as a quote unquote student. Not knowing, I didn't know her, but she knew me. I said, I didn't know her, but she knew me. How did she know me? She belonged to a coven. Confirmation. It's funny how spirit works, man. Yeah, she belonged to a coven that her and the harem of witches, evil witches, had undercover. Pun intended. It was not in my awareness that the Judas in form of a now divorcee in my life was in a secret society. She was hired to study me. But did your jaw drop yet? I said, did your jaw drop yet to study me? Now, if somebody tells me that this is not a season of the weirdest days of our lives, I beg to differ. What in the world? You're paid to study. You're paid to study somebody's mannerisms, how she dressed, how she talks, her knowledge, her understanding. Meanwhile, when love is spelled hate. I said when love is spelled hate. So when I entered this fraudulent marriage, unbeknownst to me, I would then be targeted automatically to be in a coven, which I never signed up for. See, I don't have stupid on my forehead. It's the only thing I have on my forehead is the light of God. So selling my soul would never be on the agenda. Because I have more than 15 cents. You feel me? I have sense. But there are those, I gotta say it. I said it has to be said. There are those who have nothing to offer in its authenticity. There are those who receive all of their gains by way of spell work, of demonic rituals. See, when you're God's child, you have the light of God. And they see you sometime before you see it. So because I grew up in the church and I knew nothing about the occult, nothing in connection to the occult, in fear that I wouldn't make it to heaven, I stayed away from that stuff. You understand? And this is why when I connected to that Judas, one of the first conversations, do you know God? Is God real in your life? What is your relationship to God? And let's just say the mask was fitted and the game was played. Those of you who are still in the season in your life where dating is something you engage in, let me tell you something. If you pray, pray harder. If you haven't prayed, start praying. If you want to make it today, pray. There are demonic entities that are being sent your way. You have something to offer. They don't. Their goal is to kill, steal, and destroy. So, in the process of studying me, her duties were to attract me in to that demonic walk. I'm being led to say, pay attention to people. Pay attention to people. Learn to read between the lines. Pay attention to what they say and what they don't say. Me being who I am, that's automatic. I'm going to pay attention to what you say, what you don't say, how you said it, the tone it was said, how early you said it. Detail, detail, detail. And as a grown woman, at the time, also married grown woman, even though it was a Judas that I later uncovered. But that was the title. Follow me now. I did not understand the pushiness. I did not understand the overwhelming compliments. I did not understand the requests to connect outside of the class. There was a number that was shared with the class because if you missed 2 days, you would not get a certificate. So I extended that information to the class and I said, if you're going to be absent, let me know. Make sure it's not 2 times. If you're going to be late, let me know. Make sure it's not 2 times. Well, she took the number and called me more than 2 times when it had nothing to do. When it had nothing to do